I did a thing. You'll be proud of me. After last week's episode, I went out and I watched The Watcher.
All right.
I don't get it.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
I don't get. He hunts monsters, but he's tortured.
Yeah. No,
Hunt the monsters in your own house, mate.
When you say you don't, did you watch all of it?
I haven't finished it yet, but I've got most of the way. But like some of the things just don't make sense. Like they're hard up for cash.
True.
And then when they're going, we'll get a security system, and the kid goes, it'll be $7,000. He goes, yep, not a problem. And she's like, should we get worried about the price?
I like how Luke
And
thinks that's like some kind of plot hole. Not
I know.
like literally
I know,
the fact that he's hiding the fact they don't have money from his wife, and he's being flamboyant when he shouldn't be. That's what.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like he's so insistent on it. And
Yeah,
it just,
because he's been bankrupt before, and he's trying to give his wife the impression that they've got lots of money because he's just spent $3 million on this house when secretly he's fucking got him in the hole.
well, he's just an idiot, and anything that happens to him, he deserves.
I mean, wow, sure. I think he does a great job,
Best thing
though.
that-
Bobby Cannavale, he's perfectly cast in this because he is that perfect, like, macho, confident dude, but he plays the fact that he has no money and he's hiding it from his family, and also his family hate him so well.
Yeah.
But then also, like, the neighbours, would they just kill themselves?
Well,
That was weird.
Keep watching.
keep watching, Luke.
Keep watching.
Oh.
Don't worry, Luke, there will be plenty to criticise once you've seen it all. Don't
Yeah.
worry. There's
Yeah, I
plenty
don't know.
of
I don't
plot
know.
holes.
Some stuff is not what you think.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be bothered.
All right. Well, then fine.
Luke,
we can just tell you then that they
Luke,
didn't.
if
tell
you
me.
want
Tell
to,
me. Spoilers ahead.
Luke, if you want to watch Bobby Cannavale in his greatest role, watch the one season of Boardwalk Empire that he's in. Right?
How is he in that?
He plays. He's one because there's a different villain in each season. He plays one of the season's villains. He's like a bootlegger from another town who comes into Atlantic City to try and mess things up. But he's got this fetish. He likes to be choked while he fucks women. So he goes to this brothel and has that. And then in the last episode, they send assassins to kill him while he's enjoying himself. Right? And they interrupt him, and he manages to escape.
Ejaculate.
And it's one long continuous shot from above, right? As he walks with a shotgun through the brothel, just shooting all of these hitmen that have come to get him, completely naked, covered in blood, with a belt around his neck, while his enormous, pendulous cock swings back and forth as he moves around.
Is it a real penis or is it a fake one?
I don't know. I wasn't looking that closely, but either way, it was an impressive appendage.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know. He's one of those actors I like, but I don't know what I like him
I've seen
from.
him in. I think I've only seen him in two things: The Watcher, which I liked him in a lot, and Ant-Man, which he wasn't in that much, but he was fine.
Yeah.
I think maybe that I don't like him as an actor. Maybe it's just I like him.
Yeah. Okay. Two
He
more
just seems
things.
Why did you wink when you said that?
Yeah, that's right. Why did you do the pendulous cock movement?
Yeah.
Watch The Station Agent, Matt, where him and
Station.
Peter Dinklage team up for a buddy comedy.
Oh, all right.
Indie though, it was a Sundance movie, so don't expect any explosions or dragons or anything.
Why are we watching it?
And
Any
you
dwarves?
didn't say me.
Oh, wait,
he
you already said.
also comes into the second season of Master of None, which is a Cesar Sari's
Oh yeah.
series, which is worth a watch
We're not allowed to
too.
watch him anymore, are we?
I think he redeemed himself, didn't he?
I don't know. Did that all sort itself out?
What did he do wrong?
Remember he had sex with that girl who said she was perfectly happy to have sex with him, and then later on said that she actually didn't
have
want to?
sex with her. That was the thing. It was that he didn't because she said no, and he didn't. But then he kept trying to because she was still naked or something. I don't know. It was the whole. I'm not trying to be funny or,
Yeah.
You know,
no. It seemed like a
I just
complicated
genuinely
situation.
didn't quite understand exactly what the situation was. I thought it was a bit of a mess, the whole story.
He seemed mortified that she was calling him out on abuse.
Yes.
because I think he didn't realize that he was.
It certainly sounded like the situation as described, I was like, I'd be pretty fucking confused if I was in that situation. It's like not saying what he did was right. I don't know, but it seemed very confusing to me.
But yeah, you would be mortified whether if you did it or if you didn't. Like, that's the correct response.
Yes.
To be.
He thought it was a bad date, basically. And
he would have described it as, we never quite got there, although we tried.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my experience with The Watcher.
All right.
And what do you think of The Witcher?
The Witcher. Honestly, I think I've watched more of The Watcher than I watched of season 2 of The Witcher.
Season 2 did slow down. It really put the brakes on. Season 1 was compelling. Season 2 is all of the charm of season 1, but without that compelling story.
Maybe that's why Henry's leaving. Because, I couldn't... I'm sure I'm probably not the only person who struggled with it.
No, I didn't finish it either.
Wait, you didn't finish Witcher season 2?
No.
Really?
I tuned out.
Oh.
I love Henry Cavill.
I didn't think it was
I love
bad.
Geralt. No, it wasn't bad. It just didn't compel me. I'll go back and watch it at some point.
I'm with you. I didn't think it was as good, but I still watched it all and enjoyed it.
There was nothing that was pulling me back to watch it the next
Exactly. That's
I
my
remember
thing.
talking actually because I found the first episode particularly good, and I remember Luke, you saying you didn't like it. That's the one where he meets his old friend who's been turned into a monster. And
that was a good episode. I'll say that. That was an excellent episode.
Because that's one of the more memorable of the short stories from The Last Wishes. Because it's like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing, but it's kind of like it's a little bit more folk-tale-y.
It reminded me of The Storyteller.
Yeah,
that old
exactly.
Series. And I love that stuff. Yeah,
but with
the
like
Muppet dude.
What's that?
No, he wasn't a Muppet.
Yeah, it was with the Muppet guy.
Yeah,
they were Muppets.
Yeah,
they were all Muppets.
No, it was John Hurt. He wasn't a Muppet. He was just John Hurt.
We don't know that, Matt, and we'll never know now.
He did have I think he had a prosthetic nose on. So,
well, they made him into an old man, so he had a lot of prosthetics because he wasn't an old man at the time.
At that point, which I often forget that at that point he wasn't an old man.
No, he was probably younger than we are now.
Yeah, just a good actor.
Yeah, just a world-class actor. I miss him.
The Soldier Who Caught Death is one of my favorite just things from my childhood.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Get in my sack.
Do you know what this is? My sack. Well, if it's a sack, then get in it.
So good.
Yeah.
If they make TV like that now, I don't see
it.
Oh, wish I had a good memory like that. Kind of remember it.
You don't know of that particular show, or you just have no nostalgia?
I don't remember details like that.
I got. You know, how many times have you watched Spies Like Us? I've watched Storyteller possibly more. Like I just used to watch not even all of Storyteller, just that one.
Yeah, but even like Spies Like Us, I could not name a single character in that movie.
Really?
I know the story, but could not name them.
That thing is just
except for Vanessa Angel.
Oh yeah,
but she was an actress.
Is he cheating?
I don't know.
I'm cheating, and he's still winning when he plays cards against the Devils.
So good. I've been filling out a lot of forms recently.
Oh yeah.
Which we can go into in a sec because I'm moving on Monday.
Fuck yes.
And all my stuff's already there, so it should be a pretty easy move. But two things came out of it. Number one, I've had to write my date of birth, which, listeners, is 1980. And I'm at the age now where I get nostalgic for the 80s just writing down my date of birth. I just start thinking, I'm like, 2nd of June, 1980. Oh, the 80s. What a great era.
Remember how easy it was being a kid and a teenager to know how... to remember your age
zero.
Because it was 1980, it was just so easy. And then as soon as we hit 2000s, it got complicated.
I know.
Nice for some. Yeah. I always had a hard time.
You had to deduct one from everything.
Yeah.
Or add one? I'm not sure. That's why Luke never knows how old he is.
Yeah.
The other thing, you mentioned in The Watcher, them buying a $3 million house.
Yes.
My house did not cost $3 million, but it was still very expensive. But around the corner from the house I bought is what I would... consider my dream house, right?
Oh. So you're a bit closer now.
Yeah, geographically closer, sure. Yeah. To my dream house, yeah. You could say I'm closer
that's
to
what
it.
you're supposed to do, isn't
I'm
it?
much closer
Work your
to
way
it,
closer
yeah.
and closer until you're in the
until you're in
house.
it. Yeah. I think that's what The Watcher is about, actually.
Yeah.
It was me. I'm the Watcher. I am the Watcher. I've literally pulled over to just look at this house, right? It's like an old, like Victorian era house, and it has on the top of it this little turret with windows around that I can only assume like a grizzled old scientist looks at charts and things in, right? And I want to be that grizzled old man. You know what I mean? Like it's just my perfect house.
course.
And I keep
What charts are you looking at?
I'll get some charts, Luke. I'll get some charts. If I had the
Navigational
room,
data.
Yeah,
that's
like
right,
what type of charts?
star charts, nautical charts, just charts, man.
No, you got to pick a lane. You go
But
science, you go
I'll
navigation.
see. Yeah, I'll see what kind of house it is once. I've never seen inside. But the thing is, right? So I always thought, have I missed the mark? Have I bought my house? I should have looked at this house, and it wasn't for sale or anything.
No.
But anyway,
You had no chance.
It's for sale now, right?
You don't know that, Luke.
No, he's right. Spoilers, he's right. So it's up for sale. Huey was like, "Do you know how much that house is?" I'm like, "No, I didn't want to look." She's like, "I looked." Apparently,
3.2?
apparently my dream house, Luke, costs $5 million.
Yep, I thought
Yeah,
I
wow.
was coming in low.
That's Sydney, though, isn't it?
Okay.
There's Sydney,
our house.
and then there's $5 million, Matt.
Yeah.
Who has $5 million?
And
Our house, which we purchased like 2 years ago, is worth an extra $200,000 already. It's ridiculous. For nothing. Just we've owned it and
If
it's gone
anything,
up in-
you've ruined it a little bit.
yes, I just put holes in the ceiling last week.
yeah, there's a lot of money.
So I don't need to pick a lane, Luke, because I will never afford to live in that house. I will never have my little chart room.
Well, maybe if you had a chart room just for finance, you could work on it.
You sound like my wife, Luke. Fuck you.
No, I have a very special way of handling money.
Go on.
Spend it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a financial advisement lawyer? Isn't that? Can we establish that last
Yeah.
week? I forget if that's the
He's
exact
certified.
term you used.
Yeah.
You pay for important things like accommodation, electricity, and internet,
And Xbox
then
games.
spend the rest. But spending the rest is covered under for Xbox games.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you don't actually get access to all of your money, do you? So you spending the rest is just, it's still your allowance.
He's spending his allowance. Yeah, his pocket money.
Well, because I pay for all that, so I don't have access to savings because I don't understand savings.
You don't understand them.
No, just buy stuff.
My problem
Just
is...
invest in more games.
So yeah, invest is okay. I think that's a good buzzword, right?
In
but I don't.
games is the troubling part.
That's
Yeah,
right.
'cause
Yeah.
I invest in games I can't on-sell because the internet ruined that for me.
My
I invest
problem
in a lot of
is
stuff on Amazon since.
yeah. If that's an investment in yourself, Matt,
Yeah.
and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. I'm
And
some of the stuff
indirect-
I've invested in,
indirectly
you can
my
see around
wife.
me in this room.
Have you stopped investing in sort of estate sales though? So no, that was a problem for a while.
Me.
How much of a problem was it?
I've got several musical instruments on this wall that came from estate sales. I'll have you
Do you
know.
play any or all of them? All of them?
I
Any
play
of them?
some of them. Yes, I can't play
Okay.
all of them.
Okay.
I was, I had lofty goals of learning the cello, learning the violin, and all that. I have not.
I mean, I
those
don't.
instruments.
I'm not a
they
cellist
look
either.
amazing.
I reckon if you could learn either the cello or the violin, you could probably play the other one. You know what I mean?
I'll say, and Luke, you're right. They do look good on the wall, and honestly, that kind
That
of
was the
mostly
main
why I
reason.
bought them
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
You tried to justify it by saying, "I'll learn."
I mean,
to
the
play,
cello
but
is now in the basement because it's
Because it's
takes a
massive.
lot of room.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that lamp has now replaced it. See behind me there.
Yeah.
I could just put it back there, I suppose. Actually, well, the reason one of the reasons I moved it is because I work from home now, and whenever I'm on a video call, there's this cello behind me, and it looks great. But people are like, "Oh, you play the cello," and I have to say,
No.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like it.
it just it looks good.
Yeah. That's like my anchor tattoo, and I constantly have people coming up going, I was in the Navy as well. And I'm like, oh,
I just like boats.
I just, yeah. I'm trying to pick a lane, people.
Somebody watched something else. I've noticed. Oh, I assume that's why Thor: Love and Thunder is in here. And I'm going to
Yeah.
assume it's Dan because he's the only one who hadn't seen it.
It is me, and I guess the way this works is that I'm the tiebreaker as to deciding definitively whether or not this is a good movie or a piece of shit.
Yeah, but Luke was
I didn't say it was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't think it was a good... Like, I didn't think it was a good movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie.
Well, you're wrong either way. It was an excellent movie, and I loved every second of it. Now, was it perfect?
You were primed like I was.
Yeah, I was about to say
right?
I was my bar
can't
was
discount that.
extremely low.
Yeah.
Also, would I have liked to have seen the God Killer kill more than one god? Yeah, I would have.
Sure.
Would I have liked to have seen how Natalie Portman became a Thor, as opposed to just her standing
Yes.
next to a hammer and later on
And then it
she's
cut
Thor?
away.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
have liked that too. Plenty of stuff I thought it skipped over unnecessarily and then just leaned into a lot of stuff that didn't need to.
Actually, I think what it is they did the same mistake that they did with Thor Ragnarok, is the whole surprise, like, because the whole surprise that was going to be in Thor Ragnarok was the Hulk was in it and he was there. But then that came out in the ads and everyone was there, everyone knew it. And then the same thing happened with Thor Love and Thunder, is the big shock was meant to be that she's now the almighty Thor, and but you already knew that going in, so I think that took away from it.
Yep.
I have some insider info, I guess, in a way, as to just kind of how those movies, Taika Waititi's movies, are made. Because we know he does a lot of improv and stuff, because we've seen that. And I think, from what I gather, some stuff was left on the cutting room floor to make room for things that were kind of improvised and were deemed, that's funny,
More
we
jokes.
should put that in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
for
did
example-
lean very heavily into the jokes.
For example, there is a whole scene or sequence of scenes with Jeff Goldblum that were filmed and are not in the movie. I don't know if that's general knowledge, but I know that.
Yeah.
Well, there was also just a deleted scene that I saw floating around recently where Thor's walking around with, what's his name? Zeus, having a conversation.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think from what I gather,
Which seems like
there
a
was
bit
a
of
lot
a
of let's
pivotal
try this,
thing.
let's try that, let's go, okay, now let's modify this set to allow me to do this new thing. And it's like...
Yeah. Also, I'm now playing all the characters and I'm the narrator.
Yeah.
But very funny. Extremely funny and just very, very good. And they didn't seem to... It was clearly a COVID movie because they didn't seem to even be trying to cover up the fact that everyone was against a green screen and nobody was in the same room at the same time. Fine. Thor was the least interesting character in this movie. I'm used to that by now. I would watch an entire movie of just Gore, Christian Bale's character.
Yeah.
Not only
He was
that,
great in this.
I kind of agree with him. And if you apply film theory, he's actually the protagonist because he's the one who changes by the end, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he's the one who makes the sacrifice, and he's the one who turns around. And so I'd watch that movie. I'd also watch 2 hours of just Russell Crowe doing the Con the Fruiterer accent from the 80s.
We're watching it, and Jenny goes, he's just doing your Lebanese accent.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, he is.
Perfectly.
It's not my accent. It's,
Mate, you are this close to not being invited to the orgy.
Evidently, they
So
filmed
good.
it two ways. They filmed it with him just being Russell Crowe, and
Really?
then filmed it with him doing
him
the
being
accent.
Guido Hatzis.
Yeah. Killer. I was
So
like,
good.
no, they're not. And it's like, this must just be a 2-minute thing. No. 15 minutes of him monologuing in a what I would consider extremely racist accent for somebody who's born and bred Aussie.
Yeah.
He grew up well the same time as us when that was all acceptable.
Yeah.
That was just used to be the voice that was
You're
on
allowed
film
to do that.
I mean,
yeah.
Disney still had the opportunity to say, Russell.
Yes,
yeah.
and that's why I think he did do it twice because he's like
They're probably not
you
going
can't
to
go
like
down this path, but you're probably
Yeah.
going to use this.
He
voice,
did the
which is
Maximus
his real
version,
voice.
and then also the Guido Hatzis version.
And then they looked and they saw that actually currently at the Enmore Theatre, fucking Wog Boys 7 is on, so it's
I know.
probably okay.
No, but Matt, those people actually are ethnic.
I know.
That's the only difference. Otherwise, I'd completely agree with you.
Yeah, fair.
But I was going to go to the movies this week because I think Wakanda's out.
Yes.
Wakanda Forever.
Man, oh God, I saw that the soundtrack was out on Spotify, and I can't help gushing over it, man. It's fucking amazing.
Really?
Ludwig Göransson is the shit. Like, the soundtrack is great.
But so I'll have watched that hopefully by next week's episode. 'Cause I like going to the movies and stealing people's popcorn because I refuse to buy popcorn. Popcorn is a rot and I'll never pay for it. But I'll steal
more
other
information
people's.
required, please. Just who you're stealing popcorn from.
The people I go with, I just refuse to buy popcorn.
You just lean over the seat in front of you and go, don't mind me.
Yeah, I refuse to buy it, but I fucking love it.
I love popcorn, but I'm not paying movie prices for popcorn.
Hold on, that's not what you said. You said you
Ridiculous.
refused to buy popcorn. So even from a super, like, could you take your own in a backpack?
No, because they're just not hot.
Okay.
It needs to be hot popcorn.
Fair enough.
Hot corn.
Cold popcorn's the worst.
I'm not saying cold.
hot
I'm saying
popcorn.
room temperature.
Yeah.
No, I need it hot.
I get
need
it,
it fresh.
Though. In fact, I'd never had popcorn with fresh butter put onto it until I went to the Castro in America, in San Francisco. And I was like,
Well, you can just pour butter on.
I don't think I can go back to having pre-buttered popcorn anymore.
We have, over here, I'm assuming I don't do this in Australia still, but you could literally just pump flavored butter on there. We got garlic butter. And
definitely not.
You just pump the shit on there. It's amazing.
We get here's your box of popcorn that, if you're lucky, has some flavour on it. It's probably just salt.
In Singapore, you can choose sweet popcorn or savoury popcorn. And you can opt to
Can you mix
to
it
mix.
up?
Yeah, so that's what you do.
Oh.
You go sweet first on the bottom and then savoury. So by the time you've had your dinner,
you have your dessert.
then it's time for your dessert.
That's
I can't
amazing.
do. They call it kettle corn here. That's where they cook the popcorn and it's got sugar in it. Can't do it.
Kettle corn makes me sick.
It's gross. It's so gross.
Like, no. But sick because I can't stop eating it. When it's there,
Oh no, I'm the opposite.
I just have to. No, I don't know why. I just can't stop. I think it's just because it's just straight sugar to some degree.
It just doesn't taste good to me at all. It's like
I went to go buy. They had some kettle corn that was available to buy because it was Halloween. So it was, Big W had a small bag. It was about 100 grams of kettle corn for $5.
God.
What?
Jenna brings bags and bags of it home from the fairs when she works.
Yeah.
Like
Kettle corn is cheap.
there's no reason that
and
should
terrible.
cost much at all. But it's like kettle corn is to me like I have another thing that they do this everywhere in the US is Reese's peanut butter things, right? Peanut butter for me is a savory thing, right? I put peanut butter on toast with butter. I put normal butter on there as well, double savory.
Oh,
right?
I did that, yeah.
But they put it in chocolate and on candy and stuff, and it's just tastes wrong and gross to me. And everyone here thinks I'm a fucking freak. But kettle corn's the same. Popcorn is supposed to be buttery and savory. I can't do it.
But I like peanut butter. I love that with Vegemite. You have that sort of competing flavours.
No, you're fired. Get out.
Did you see the post I made the other day about the fucking chicken I found at Woolworths?
Yep. Unfortunately, I did.
Now, I like Vegemite very much. I have it nearly every day, but I don't want it on a chicken.
So
I don't understand that.
the veggie? So for listeners, there's a photo of a like a roast chicken you get at the store, like a pre-roasted
chicken
right?
in a warmer. Yep.
Is but with it says with Vegemite? Is the Vegemite on the chicken or inside the chicken?
I think it's stuffed with Vegemite
if I
flavored
find
stuffing.
one, I will try.
Go to Woolies, man. It was just sitting there, looking back at me,
but
going,
not all
"G'day,
Woolies
Danny."
will have it. No, remember, not all Woolies are the same.
True.
No.
Like the Woolies that we have up the road, I don't like buying any of our meat or fish from because their butcher's just not that good. I prefer to go to the one near my work because they've got a decent butcher.
You are out in the desert. I probably wouldn't buy fish in the desert either.
I like fish.
Me too.
We're coming up to prawn season.
But go closer to the water and before you buy your seafood.
When Jenna and I were driving across the country, we went in the Mall of America in Minnesota. Where's Mall of America? It's in the middle of the country.
Probably America.
Yeah.
It's in Minnesota. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere, like literally in the middle of the country. And
Is Minnesota the Fargo place? where they kind of
It's
sound
very
a little
close
bit
to that.
Canadian.
Yeah.
And the Mall of America has a roller coaster, doesn't
Correct.
it?
It's like
Oh,
it's like
hello.
an enormous mall with a roller coaster inside of it and everything like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
But we went to a restaurant in there to get dinner, and the guy was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Rhode Island." And he was like, "Oh, okay, great." And he said, "Here's the menu." He goes, "If you order any of the seafood, I am going to punch you. Remember where you are." I was like, "Oh, yeah, good point."
Yeah. You're the one from the Harbour City. We're out in the
Yeah,
desert.
exactly. You will not like anything we have on the seafood menu.
Well, I will say, like, where I am compared to where Mall of America is, it's a little bit different. We're like 3 hours away from water. It's not too bad.
Yeah. This is about 8 hours drive. More, possibly.
Yeah,
Probably more.
what would be the closest water to Minnesota?
Okay, let's see. Maps.
For our Minnesota listeners.
Mall
It's got to be like a day drive or
America.
something.
So, let's see. Well, let me get directions from here. Let's see. Direct Mall of America.
Yeah, so if they wanted to get some of that sweet Newport seafood, how long
Yep.
would it take him?
It would take them... No, driving, not walking.
Fuck. Why is that even an option?
20 hours and 44
20 hours,
minutes.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Drive
that's a decent drive.
to get here.
Speaking of
Yeah, because
seafood,
at least, like, seafood from, like, Sydney to Canberra, that's like, throw it in a refrigerated truck
Yeah, you'd be right.
and drive it. Whereas that distance, you have to freeze it, so it's not fresh and...
Not good.
there's probably a lake. You could probably get some lake trout or something.
Yeah, they've got
Mud-
the Great
mud
Lakes
crab.
in the middle there. I've been to the Great Lakes at Detroit. Not Detroit. What's that? Is that the same state? No. Michigan. Lake Michigan. That's the one.
Oh, sure. Is that lake that caught on fire that one time?
I don't think so.
That's Lake Erie, which may or may not be in Michigan. I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
I confused that one with the one in Australia, Lake Air.
Which
I don't
is a
know why.
confusing name because it's water.
Yeah. Why would
Yeah.
they have called it that? Speaking of seafood, I still remember that Seattle trip that we did, which was
Yes.
just excellent seafood. But you just order by the bucket, and they literally just pour a bucket of seafood in front of each person.
I think it's called the Crab Pot. That place we went to.
Crab Pot, yeah.
Amazing.
So
They just
good.
literally pour buckets of seafood on the table.
Yeah, but they're like, "You want any potatoes and stuff in there?" Yeah, okay, we'll put some potatoes in there. Yeah,
Some,
whatever.
some corn.
Yeah, a bit of coleslaw.
Yeah, I'd be saying no. Just keep the seafood coming.
It was good.
Like, who wants fillers?
It was very, very
Don't worry
good.
about potatoes and corn.
Yeah, we should do that sometime. I'm sure there's a place near here that we. Boston definitely could be a place like that.
I think the next place we should probably meet up would probably just be Hawaii.
Yeah, the Magnum
Sure.
PI tour.
Well, I'm thinking that'd be easier with kids, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Because that's more of like a holiday, like you stay at a resort type of thing, and
Yeah. Yeah. Lock them up
then sort of
somewhere.
have- yeah, like drop them off at the daycare thing where you go out and do a day tour to a volcano.
Pay a different
and,
parent to look after them for a bit. Yeah.
Well, a lot of resorts have kids' rooms where they're essentially
Yeah.
daycares with tutors
There you
who hang
Yeah.
out with your kids.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what and I think. So that I'm just putting that out there because I want to go to Hawaii and walk up a volcano.
Speaking of people who love to hang out with kids, James Gunn.
Have I missed a story lately?
Not lately, but wasn't he tweeting that he was a pedophile a couple of years back?
No, he was tweeting that
No.
what's his name? What can't I think of? Toxic Avenger.
Lloyd Kaufman?
Lloyd Kaufman. He was tweeting that Lloyd
Yeah.
Kaufman was a pedophile, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Takes one to know one.
What have you
It
got
doesn't.
against James
No, I
Gunn?
love James
though?
Gunn. I love James Gunn, and I am psyched.
You're just
to
jealous
start-
of him,
I'm massively
aren't you?
jealous of him. Immensely jealous
You
of
need
him.
to start using
Absolutely.
this. Because that's staying in.
Come at me, James Gunn. Then we'll talk. No, I'm excited about his DCEU, or just the DCU he seems to be talking about.
Yeah, they said they're going to rename it to the DCU, which I think is funny. Because it's
See,
MCU
I think
and
he's-
DCU. Yeah.
as I said, I think he's in a hard place to start with because it's not starting fresh, and I think that's going to be the
No.
hardest thing.
It is, apparently.
What?
Yeah. It's a
It won't
new-
be. It won't be completely fresh. He'll keep his
Maybe.
his not Justice League, his Suicide Squad characters. No way, Margot Robbie's
Oh,
down at
that's
Centrelink
what I mean,
looking
like-
for a new job.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not that they're not going to recast, like, have like a new Wonder Woman, a new Harley Quinn. They're going to have because people want them back. people like them. That they're going to want Aquaman, which I don't. No, he's going to fire him.
Looking at numbers, I'm not entirely sure
say,
people want Wonder Woman anymore.
I mean,
that second movie.
It's perfectly feasible that they just say, "Okay, we're going to keep the same actors and stuff because that's fine." Because they've actually done that with the Marvel stuff too, right? They've got some of the Netflix Marvel series actors coming into the MCU now, right? Like,
but their stuff was still all canon, wasn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
No, I think
I don't know that it is.
Was.
Because now Kingpin's got superpowers. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But I mean, he could literally just say, "Okay, yeah, Henry Cavill's still Superman, but forget those other movies."
Look, I'm hoping it is honestly his choice and not
I'd be surprised if they didn't let him.
He's what you get to work with.
Yeah.
But who's doing the "he is what you get to work with"? Because he's the CEO now.
Yeah.
So
remember, they let him have free reign on Suicide Squad, and
look what
how
happened.
great is it?
Yeah.
So let him do his thing, but I'm always worried that people will get in the way and go, "Nah, you got to do this and have him in there."
I think he's in a very good position to say, "We did it your way, and look what happened."
Fuck off and let me do my thing.
And we did it my way.
Yeah, there's
and
a reason
then you hired me to do more.
You hired me to do something. Let me do it.
Yeah.
And so I still don't know, because I think some of it is that they did a terrible job, but then there's also the other side of, I don't really like DC characters.
I like some of them. I like Batman. I think Batman's cool. I like Suicide Squad more now that I've seen what he did with them. So I think I can get past that.
I love Superman. I just think no one's done him well in a long time.
I don't like Superman.
I would have said I didn't like Superman, but I've come around on that. Actually, and I think watching The Boys.
There's women screaming in your home, Matt.
There's a child being
that's
murdered.
a child. That's not a woman, Dan.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's not Sarah
I guess I'm
Pacino.
not. Yeah, I guess it could be Sarah. Yeah. The Boys, what they did with Homelander was, I was like, see, that's interesting. They should do something like that with Superman. But then they chickened out on that in Justice League.
I think they should remake Watchmen, but with the actual characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just DC characters in Watchmen to just go, it's not a parody, it's not an allegory. This is what we meant.
Do we talk about? We didn't really talk about this. It was in the spreadsheet the other week about, Alan Moore fucking hates everything that's done with his stuff.
Take my fucking name off it.
Yeah, everything that they do, he says, no, you got it wrong. And then it's to the point where I'm like, what was the message then, Alan?
Yeah. Because actually I think, okay, fine. If he wants to criticize League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you go right ahead, Alan. They fucked that. They completely missed the point of that. But if you
made Sean Connery quit acting.
I know, single-handedly. But if you look at Watchmen, I mean, yes, they changed the ending, but they did that on purpose. But that's a pretty faithful adaptation as far as I'm concerned. Like,
and you don't have a problem in cashing the checks.
No, he doesn't take the money. He doesn't get money from it. He always says, I don't want any money, and take my name off it. You can use it, but don't associate me with it at all.
Before or after?
During. So if you watch the credits of Watchmen, it credits the other guy who he co-wrote it with, and it says co-written by, but it doesn't say who he co-wrote it by.
He doesn't like V for Vendetta, he doesn't like Watchmen, but then he's like, no, you missed the point. And it's like,
well, what's the point?
What was the point of V for Vendetta if it wasn't...
And the new one was the TV series. TV series missed the point. It's like, well, what was the fucking point then? Right? If everybody's missed it, surely that's on you.
I've got something for you. Instead of just going, I don't want my name on it or anything, why don't you get your name on it, work with them, and get your point across?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what Neil Gaiman was doing for years going, nobody can adapt my books, and then eventually he was like, I could help write the screenplays, and now they're great.
I mean, maybe I could do it.
Yeah.
Since I am a writer.
He did, though, I respect that he at first clearly was not confident that he could, which is, I think, a good quality. And then over time has gotten more and more involved with them. And now we've got Sandman, which I think was excellent. And he's very involved because he knows what he's doing now.
True.
Whereas for a long time, he was kind of like, I'll get other people to do it at varying levels of success. Like American Gods, I thought American Gods was fantastic.
Yeah.
But he obviously clashed with them a lot.
But I think there's a lot of respect there when people sort of don't want to take that leap and go, look, I'll leave it to people who I think are professionals instead of you get the other side who people who jump in who have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. There's an arrogance that's like, no, it's my stuff. It's actually funny. I watched a video it was a Folding Ideas YouTube video, the lukewarm defense of 50 Shades of Grey, the films, which are a very funny series of movies of YouTube videos. But he was talking about how when they were adapting 50 Shades of Grey, which is garbage, they actually made a lot of changes that really improved it. And the movie's quite good, except that all of the areas where it's still shit, if you look, there was a whole bunch of drama behind the scenes because the original author was like, you're not changing this, you're not changing that. And all of that stuff is what's garbage about the movie. And then they just thought they were hot shit.
I also, wasn't it sort of like what they filmed just didn't really come across, like the book, it just came across less like Weiss, even more an abusive relationship in the movies than it did in the book, didn't it?
I think they tried to fix it, but there were certain things that were apparently not up for being changed by the author. I think I don't know. I haven't seen them. I tried to read the books. I bailed out because it was garbage.
I think it's because in the books you can sort of it makes it a bit easier to try and romanticize away some of it, but then when you're actually just seeing it seeing it up close, you go, well, no, that's not a.
I know, because he mentioned it. There was one change in particular that I remember it because I read this in the book and I was like, this is fucking creepy. He doesn't track her phone to find her at one point. In the book, there's a bit where she's at a bar and she calls him up and starts making fun of him for being a uptight asshole, and he tracks her phone and then comes to the bar, and it's fucking creepy. In the movie, he doesn't do that.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's an improvement, right? Because I'm supposed to like this guy on some level, aren't I?
Sure. Well, I don't know. I don't know who the good guy or bad guy is. I've never read this. The only thing I know about this is what the passage that they read out on Mabimbam, where he was like, I was going to be a dom, so I put on my jeans, my dom jeans. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like my kind of book. I'll say this, though, Luke.
I fuck.
Oh, my God.
That's a line from it as well.
No. My, the elderly women in my extended family circle all read this, and it was their scandalous book that they were all like, we secretly read this book.
It did amazing. That's why they made it to a movie, because everyone was reading it and everyone was loving it. But I just think it's just, you can get away with some things in a book that you can't.
I agree, but I also think
naughty. It's just naughty. That's
the opposite is also true, though, right? There are two films based on the book Lolita, right? One by Kubrick, done in the 60s, and one done in the 90s with Jeremy Irons, right? Both of them are about a doomed love story, right? Then you read the book, and he's just a pedophile. Yeah. There's no love. It's just a book about a man grooming a little girl. And he even says it, in the book, he's like, I like little girls. I know it's wrong. I know it's illegal, but I just fucking can't stop myself. Whereas in the films, they don't say any of that. They just go, oh, I'm falling in love with you and you're the wrong age.
Yeah, it's very tragic.
Yeah.
Right,
but that's not what the book is. The book is how to groom little girls if you're a pedophile.
I'm going to pass on that book.
Yeah. The irony is it's beautifully written. The prose is immaculate, but the character is absolutely insufferable.
And I'm going to also guess there's no Death Stars or Star Destroyers or X-Wings.
Very
Force,
few.
maybe.
Very
probably
few.
Force, but...
Luke.
Well, actually, Luke,
you've been hanging out with Dan too much.
It's more coercion than force, to be honest, but it's still bad. But that was a good. I give you 10 points for that.
Such low-hanging fruit with that one. I just couldn't.
It's
very
low,
because she's a young girl.
We've got some follow-up. There's one in particular I want to talk about just briefly, because I think we may have talked about this a couple of years ago at first. So Doom Eternal came out. And
great game.
Yes. And Mick Gordon, famous as the guy who did all the fucking awesome music for Doom, and I thought, good dude.
Australian
the game
dude.
came out. Correct, yeah, he lives in Queensland, I think, still. And yeah, Marty, what's his name? Marty fucking whatever the guy, the
The
head
only
of id,
Marty I know is McFly.
Marty Stratton. He's now the head of id Software. He was, I think, just he's the studio head now. He was the executive producer of whatever of the game of Doom Eternal. Put out this post on Reddit saying basically the gist of it was, my summary of it was that Mick's a bit of a prima donna. He was late on everything. There's no soundtrack album because Mick couldn't get it done in time. So we've had one of our guys here at the studio cobble something together.
Redo.
And basically made Mick sound like a dickhead. And at the time I was like, oh, that's shit. And it didn't sound quite right to me, but I mean, not that I know him personally, but it just didn't seem like, I've seen a lot of interviews, I've seen like live seminars with him and stuff like that. And I was like, it doesn't seem like him.
I saw him play the soundtrack live at the Game Awards, and he was fucking rad.
It didn't strike me as that kind of guy, but whatever, And it seemed pretty cut and dry. And Mick never really responded until now. After legal disputes and whatever else for the last 2 years, he's come out and said basically that was all horse shit, and he's got screenshots of emails and messages and stuff to prove it. And he's basically saying, this guy Marty just threw me under the fucking bus because they couldn't manage the project. And I've tried, talking them out of it, and they offered me 6 figures to just never say anything, to basically accept that my career has been tarnished by what he said 2 years ago. His 6 figures go away. And he said, you know what? I told him fuck off. And now I'm going to tell you what really happened.
For them offering 6 figures to go away, because he did the music.
Correct. Yeah.
That's all he did. So it's not like, I'm not trying to wash that away, but 6 figures to just wear this.
This is just a rumor, right? But somebody was saying that there is, and there was talk at the time, right? When Doom came out, the 2016 Doom, and the soundtrack was such a big success, right? Mick did such a good job. He kind of became indelibly linked to the franchise in a way that it didn't like, right? And I don't know if this is true. This is just what people in the industry were saying on the internet. And there was a sense at id that they need to cut this guy down a peg or two. And I wonder if that had something to do with this.
That's kind of always been id's problem, though, right? I remember reading that when they did Doom 2 and they decided to put one of American McGee's levels as the starting level instead of one of Romero's, and then that caused all this internal friction and stuff because King's got to stay the king. And I know none of those guys work at id now or on the game we're talking about, but I don't know, maybe that's just the culture of id,
Maybe,
too many egos.
But what a fucking shame that it didn't have to be like this. Because what Mick's
No,
saying,
they could have just fucking high-fived each other and went, man, we made a great game and we made a fucking ton of money.
And we don't need to get into specifics. If you're interested, I'll link to the article and I'll link to as much info as I can. Because I do, personally, I found it interesting because, I like video games, I like music, I like Mick Gordon. He's been a kind of a bit of a hero in the game composer industry, so it's still a bit shit, And just stuff like they didn't pay him for 11 months, and he's there crunching on this game, and he's like, and the game contains 4.5 hours of music, even though they only paid him for 2 hours because they rejected music cues to get him to do more cues, but then just used all of them, which is not, you can't do that. But then he's like, well, what am I going to do? It's fucking
essentially
Bethesda,
stealing, but
ZeniMax. Like, what am I going to do? Like, they'll just destroy me, legally. So,
and we've talked about this in the past too. About there's maybe 3 or 4 guys in the world who are working as composers who can throw their clout around enough to have studios back down.
You're just
and anyone who's ever worked on a film will know, especially worked as a composer, will know that they don't leave room in the budget for it, and they will try to get you to do the music for as little as they can because it's last. And when we made our feature film, we decided ahead of time not to do that. We banked our composer budget at the start so that we would have enough money to pay a good composer to do good music, and we got a good composer and he gave us good music. And it's because we weren't underpaying him.
I think music's a tough one because there's this big thing of you put your music in, do it for cheap. This is good for you to put your music in our film or our game because it's exposure for you.
That's a big thing generally in film and game industry, and it sucks because there is always someone
and it's a race to the bottom.
Cheap. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And so you just kind of, and then people say, oh, you got to stick your ground, hold your ground, like,
well, and then
don't do
just
stuff.
not get a job.
Just go to
It's
the
like,
next
well, then
person
just
in
don't
line.
get any work then sometimes. Like, it's very hard.
Yeah.
And it's the same with voice actors, and even though there's been this big controversy with voice acting lately, which hasn't helped voice actors, I don't think.
No, it's all a bit of a mess with regards to that. And then, and like, 'cause people know who Mick Gordon is, but he's, like you say, he doesn't have that much clout. He's not like, he's not Hans Zimmer. Like, you don't fuck with Hans Zimmer. But you can fuck with some of these game composers because.
But then also, how much of the music is actually Zimmer's, and how much is he just signing off under?
I don't know about that. I've read those articles too, and I think there's a bit of sour grapes. It's just my opinion.
I mean, people do have assistants to
Correct,
help them.
and Hans gives credit to people that he does. He doesn't have to credit some of these people if he doesn't want to. So I'm not saying he's a saint or anything like that, but I feel like
He's done a dick.
Whatever.
But
it doesn't
artists,
seem like it
all
to me.
artists
I could
do
be
that.
wrong. I could be wrong. You know,
Michelangelo didn't paint every stroke on the Sistine Chapel himself. He had like a dozen painters working for him. He was the director of it. He told him where to put which color. And I think even if Hans Zimmer says to a bassoonist, come up with a little bit to go under this, here's what the theme is, then you can hardly say he didn't compose the whole
and
thing.
I've brought this up before. I don't understand music. It makes no sense to me how people can go off and go, I've written this. It doesn't work. It's all music has been written and is done.
There's only so many notes.
Peaked at Skulker.
Peaked at Skulker. Yeah. The last truly original band.
I still don't get how Matt can do it.
Yeah, me either.
Go away, out of his brain.
No, I don't get it either.
I've written this
glad he can do it.
and made it sound good.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Speaking of voice
Just happens.
actors, though, there's some sad Geek of the Week news.
Yeah, this happened today. In fact,
Happened just now, just broke.
I mean, we do have two other candidates in here for Geek of the Week. One of them's a joke. I mean, two of them might be jokes.
Well, I mean, they're both true. They're all true.
Yeah, but I think I'd be surprised if Kevin Conroy does not get Geek of the Week this week. Just not to influence you there, Luke. I cannot wait to hear what your pushback on this might be, if there is any.
I'm looking at the photo in the article, and it's like a photo of him from 2017. It looks like he died a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a very old photo too. I don't think that's even a new photo for 2017. But
yeah, I didn't know he was sick, and the article does say it was a short battle with cancer. So I guess this was
Oh, he's only
fairly
66.
sudden, because I didn't. I mean, not that I follow the career of Kevin Conroy, but I mean, I know who he is, and I feel like I would have heard about it. But I guess it was quite.
He's a smoker.
Quite recent.
Oh,
well, that's why he
definitely.
sounds like Batman.
You don't get the Batman voice just by.
Yeah, if you don't know who Kevin Conroy is, you do.
You've heard of him.
He's the voice of Batman in fucking anything that's good.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of the movies like, Dark Knight or whatever.
No,
But-
starting in Batman the Animated Series.
and I was just playing Arkham Knight the other day and thinking, fuck, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
So good as Batman.
Yeah, I don't think that's not possible.
Matt,
for
let
not-
those women
not
out of
to
your
be geek.
basement.
I've got a text, right, that says, like, this is like
Sorry.
this is to keep me from getting annoyed, I guess. This is from Jenna. Sorry, but Lyra is leading this, so... ... Like, oh, okay. It's my daughter's fault, so I can't get mad.
Fair. What? Wait, you would happily get mad at your guest's daughter?
Oh, fucking... shut up.
Yeah. I will hit a child. I will hit a
Well,
child.
not even my child. I will hit yours, Sarah.
Look at your child.
No.
Oh, but he's been Batman forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since
No.
the 90s.
No. That was Val Kilmer. Fucking set that up. Fucking yeah. Yeah, short battle with cancer, I guess, is better than a long battle with cancer.
Yeah.
But sorry to
suppose.
hear that it just snuck up on him and took him. And 66
Yeah.
is not old to us because
No.
we're in our 40s now. So that's terrifying as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But as you said, he is a heavy smoker, so maybe that was
him as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker is just kind of an iconic duo now.
I didn't even realize that until ages way too late that was Mark Hamill doing that.
Yeah, really.
I think a lot of people only really worked it out like when he was finishing up as the Joker. Because I think he finished up one of the games, didn't he? Like he went, "That's it. I'm hanging up. I'm not the Joker."
He did.
After this.
Yeah, I think he finished
Then
Arkham
came back
Knight,
and did more.
and then that was it. Yeah,
he'll still do it at cons though if you ask him, which was what I love.
Yeah, Arkham Knight is fantastic. By the way, I don't know if I assume Luke's played it. I'm not sure if you've played it, Dan. But
no, I haven't played that one.
That entire series, those
I
three games.
I only played the first one.
No more.
But the Arkham Knight has this thing where part of the plot is that the Joker is in your head, right? So you see him, he just pops out of nowhere and talks to you and stuff like that. But not only that, I forgot about this until I was playing it again. But like you see his face everywhere, and by that I mean you'll be walking around and then you'll turn around and then a superimposed has the Joker's face. And then you keep turning, and then you go, "What the fuck?" You turn back, and it doesn't anymore. Like it kind of it superimposes his face on like statues and like TV screens and stuff like that, and then you just see it out of the corner of your eye. It's so well done.
And if you're paying attention for it, you won't see it. It's just that thing that's when you just sort of you let your guard down, and then it's
like you'll be walking along as Batman, and then you turn, and then just out of the corner of your eye, there's a little picture on the little poster on the wall, and it's got the Joker's face instead of whatever it's supposed to be, and then you go, "What?" And you look back and it's gone. It's so good.
It's a great series. That's why I'm looking forward to. There's Rocksteady, you guys they're making a new game. I forget what they're making it for though. Let me double check.
These aren't on Switch, are they? No, just the Telltale.
Play it on the Xbox.
I'm at the point now where something's going to have to really be enticing me to the Xbox.
So Rocksteady, they're the ones that are making the Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't look that good.
But I've just remembered because I was excited for it.
It doesn't look that good.
And then I've remembered, no, it's a co-op-y game.
Yeah,
no.
I don't care about co-op.
Unless it's Ghostbusters. At some point, I want to play Ghostbusters with you guys.
Oh yeah,
Spirits Unleashed.
Yeah. I think that'd be fun.
Okay, I've got it.
The only issue with the Arkham games on Xbox Series X, I think Arkham Asylum is fine. Arkham City has a weird thing where I think the frame rate's locked at 45 frames a second, which is unusual. And it took me a little getting used to. And Arkham Knight is unchanged from when it was on the old Xbox. And I think it's 30 frames a second, which doesn't upset my brain as much as 45.
45 is an old one.
like 40. That's weird.
Especially, I'm trying to think if that would be worse for you or for us with your 60 hertz and our 30 hertz, our 50 hertz.
Yeah, because I've looked everywhere. I'm trying to see. Like I played through Arkham City anyway. It was fine, but and Arkham Knight also has a thing where because it was on one of the later gen Xbox ones, that the way it's optimized, the visually it looks a little funny because it's hard to explain. It's got a lot going on and it looks beautiful on not on 4K, but on a 4K screen because it's got so much going on. It kind of doesn't hold up as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. Like it took me a little bit to get used to the look of it.
I kind of would like them to do sort of another remake of it.
Yeah, I really wish they'd patched it. I mean, it wouldn't take. I shouldn't say it wouldn't take much, but I feel like you could just let it because it runs at 4K on the PC, right? So why can't they just make the Xbox do that too? I don't know. 4K, 60 frames. I've seen videos of it running in 4K, 60 frames on the PC. It looks fucking incredible. So,
Luke, before you go ahead and lock in Kevin Conroy as the Geek of the Week, I've got two other candidates here. The first candidate is Neil Gaiman's marriage. Neil Gaiman, who we've spoken about before in this episode, and his marriage to Amanda Palmer has finally dissolved. They were the poster couple of the internet, blogging their whole life, tweeting at each other, talking about how their marriage was an open marriage, then talking about how it definitely wasn't anymore. And now
it's definitely a super open marriage.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because they were so open for a long time, and then it got clearly it got weird for them. Which whatever. personal. I think the problem for them is that it's been so public
Yes.
now. And they've now, this statement that I've put in the spreadsheet is basically them saying, please respect our privacy. And it's like, oh man, but now we all want to know because we know so much.
And it's so hard to go from people just reading everything about you, like, because you're posting everything, to now respect our privacy. It's, well,
yeah. Well, they have a son together, and so I can understand they don't want to,
Yes.
you know.
And they've made it very clear they're going to share custody of the son, and they're not going to do anything weird. They don't hate each other.
It doesn't seem like it's
no one
like...
cares about that part of it.
Doesn't sound like it's
No,
like
everyone
a
wants to
messy-
know who did what and which one of you
Yes.
stormed out.
They don't care
We
about the
already know
custody
Neil
side.
pissed off to Scotland while she was in New Zealand.
Yeah. Got himself in trouble for that too. Because you don't... Yeah. The police popped up at his door and said, where's the fucking island, mate? And there's a pandemic on. Why
Yeah.
are you... What are you doing here?
So, look, I'm not going to give Neil Gaiman's Marriage Geek of the Week.
Okay. Well, I've got the third one then.
That may be a shock to
No,
you both,
no.
but
Okay. So
I think we could just count ourselves lucky he's still alive. That's
yeah, that's right. As opposed
For now.
to this third one, this Geek of the Week candidate is the boy king pharaoh Tutankhamun.
I thought he was already dead.
Yeah, but his
Yeah,
body was
yeah.
discovered exactly 100 years ago this week.
Oh. I don't quite see how that...
I just thought it
he-
was worth mentioning.
was he
Go ahead.
Tutankhamun
So we're
into
gonna
video
start-
games?
Yeah,
So we're
actually,
gonna-
no.
so-
He wasn't, but he was massively into board games. No
Oh,
joke.
okay.
In his tomb, because you
He was
fill a
literally a
pharaoh's tomb.
child.
Yes, correct. He was 17 years old or something. But he had like an unprecedented amount of board games buried.
I mean,
with him.
that's yeah. I got a lot of
He is-
stuff for
he was
my
a-
birthday when I was a kid that I didn't always want. So
No, I'm not going to bury you with it though, Matt.
well,
I
you know,
can't do this because this is opening the door. Like, what am I meant to do in another year's time? Do I have to go back and see if Betty White gets Geek of the Week again? We're not celebrating.
Why? Because we're going to discover her body.
They found her body ages ago.
Oh, don't
It's
say
still
it
a
like
discovery. We're not celebrating anniversaries of
All right,
people's
so
death. It's just
it's
not
not
a
even
thing.
the
Not
anniversary
Geek
of
of
his
the Week.
death.
No,
it's the
we have
anniversary.
no
of when
idea when the
his-
anniversary of his death
found
is,
his
Matt.
dead body.
They didn't even really know if
So
this
no.
guy was a real person until they found his body.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay,
No,
so
just
Kevin Conroy.
Well, he
Kevin
hasn't said that
Conroy.
yet either. Maybe Kevin's.
Kevin Conroy. I can't not give it to Kevin Conroy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm jealous of his smoking though.
He's dead. He died of lung cancer.
Exactly. It's like a
If there's anyone to
cautionary
not be
tale of
jealous, yeah, I
anything.
know. Fuck.
Oh, I still miss smoking.
I mean, I get it. I can't
Why?
watch Mad Men because I'm
Why?
jealous of their smoke. No, I am as well.
I love
Really?
smoking. Yeah.
Not at all.
If I was in America, I'd probably still be smoking. Just cannot afford it in Australia.
Yeah.
Mate, go to Southeast
No,
Asia. It's $2 a
it's-
packet.
It's not even $2 a cigarette here anymore. I think it's closer to $2.50 a cigarette.
Yeah,
something.
because it's more than 50.
Jesus.
It's around $50 for a pack, which is between 20 and 25.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I remember when I started smoking, I could buy a packet of 30 cigarettes for $7.
yeah.
I
The
mean,
fact
that was
the fact that you were buying 30s also narrows
that was a
down
long
to
time ago.
to which shitty fucking
Peter Jackson.
Darrow brand
Jackson,
you were,
Virginia.
drinking,
Peter
you were
Jackson.
smoking. Yeah.
But I remember even
Virginia's too,
from a
16 mils. Fucking
from a $50
cigarette.
note, you'd get change when buying a carton.
At least it wasn't Long Beach or Horizon.
Oh,
50, a pack of 50 Horizons.
it was Peter Jackson, Virginia, until they changed the way they made them. And then I switched over to Benson Hedges Special Filter.
Oh yeah.
That's right. When I met you, I think you were smoking those. Because I remember thinking,
And
this
then they
guy's
had-
hardcore.
They had to change from Special Filter because you can't call
Yes.
cigarettes special.
Yeah. No, I started with Peter Jackson as well.
Yeah, I did too.
But when
actually,
Peter
I
Jackson
think.
they changed, I switched to Marlboro, and then I smoked Marlboro right up until I didn't smoke anymore.
I started on 16s, stayed on 16s.
Well, they're not even allowed to say what it is now because you're not allowed
No.
to imply that some are better than others for your health.
Yeah, so now they're cut. It's weird that in the show the color, the boxes are all the same, but they're still color coordinated for the level. So there's still reds and blues and stuff. I don't understand though.
Peter Jackson extra mild, I think is what.
Extra mild with the
I think
12s.
they're 8s.
Yeah, the 12. So I think that's
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
That's what I smoked as well.
started smoking.
I got the Virginias a couple of times to try to look hardcore in front of you guys, but I even at that young age where my lungs were pure white, I was like, I can't fucking smoke this amount of
You
tar.
know the worst thing about when you're smoking like a stronger one is people can bum off you because people will put up with a stronger one for one.
Yeah, but then you...
But if you bum off them, I can't taste this.
Yeah, like an ultra mild 4 milligram or something.
Yeah.
Like isn't that what Dave's mum used to smoke?
Yeah.
It's just like dirty
super.
air.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by doing this, I'm breathing in healthier air because at least there's a filter on the air.
That's right. Yeah, then emu planes.
That's a good point.
generally
Was
is.
there ever any so I never really understood the science behind it, but was it healthier to smoke
No.
less?
It was
strong
less
cigarettes?
unhealthy, I think, but I don't
Was
think
it?
the word healthier should come into it.
No, but
There were
relative.
some. It depends on the article you read. There were some articles that said the lower the milligram, the more you're actually inhaling into your lungs because you're actually inhaling deeper. I think what it came down to is how addicted you are. I think the higher the milligram, the higher the
Chance of
nicotine
addiction.
count. So I think you may be in.
I thought it was tar, not nicotine. Oh, well, whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, we never bothered to figure that out.
No, we
well,
didn't
look
care,
into it.
fellas.
Yeah, wasn't a factor.
You don't want to look into it because it's all
Also
just
that.
Yeah.
this is going to kill you.
Me saying relative
Just talk to
then
Kevin.
reminded me just because my brain made a connection. The other week, I stupidly was using the word subjective when I was talking about Kanye when I meant objective, and
Oh,
I
our
think
listeners don't
probably
know the
you guys.
difference.
No, I think you guys knew what I meant and didn't correct me. But I
we knew
listened
what
to
you
it
meant.
back and I was like, "You sound like a dickhead." So I just like to.
His
Like to-
retraction.
No, Kanye sounds like a dickhead.
Yeah, I think when you're
Yeah.
talking about Kanye, it doesn't matter.
Oh, maybe he infected me somewhat, and I was saying the wrong word. But listeners, I did mean objective when I said
He's
subjective.
been quiet this week, has he?
Oh, thank
There's no follow up this week.
No, but there's Elon Musk follow up.
Is it
We
dirty?
don't have to talk about
Sexual?
it a lot. And
Because we're ready for the after party.
yeah, no, it's not. All right, we just be quick, right? I think as far as Twitter's concerned, I'm just gonna we could stop talking about it for now because he's just fucking around. We're gonna have to
Things
talk about
need to
this every
settle
week,
a
and that's
little
probably
bit.
what he wants. So
Yeah.
they had additional verification things. There were 2 tick marks for 2 hours, and then he took that away, and then now they're even taking back the whole $8 verification thing that they put out.
Of course they are.
They've cancelled that. He's told all the staff basically, we are in dire financial trouble. So
Yeah. And I have not
I am
helped
throwing
at
shit
all.
at the wall, and probably this company won't exist.
See, I sort of like the idea of the verification, that paying a fee. I don't think it should be a monthly fee, but I could see there's no issue in getting that tick to go, this is who I am.
I
Like you say-
can't see. But the problem is that people who actually should be verified won't bother paying for it, and it's just scammers, which is what's happening now. Look at the mess that's on there now with all
Well,
of these
well, the
fake
thing is-
Nintendo accounts, and there's people
Because that's the
on
thing,
there.
that's the annoying thing about the tick, that they're paying for it, but they're not being verified. They're paying and you're getting a tick.
Yeah, but people
they're not
don't
being-
understand
Yeah.
the nuance. Like the general public doesn't understand the nuance. Like we know that this is all silly, but now you've got, for example, there was one that was at the company that sells insulin. There was a account registered with a similar name, changed the name of the account to the name, paid the $8, got a tick, tweeted insulin will now be free. Right?
Yeah.
The company had to release a press release to say that's not us and it won't
true.
be.
But that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like they shouldn't be able to pay that money to get a tick and then impersonate someone else. That's not the idea.
The problem is Twitter can't keep up with it. That's why people are saying now, like, he's trying stuff that Twitter knew was stupid. That's why they didn't do it, because you can't keep up with it.
Yeah, like you need to. I'm all for pay the fee, you get verified, you get a tick, but you're verified as you,
Right.
or your business, not I've got this tick and I can now change my name to anything under the sun.
Yeah, because he's saying, if you pay the $8 and you say you're someone you're not, we'll ban you. And it's like, okay, but you've got to figure out that I'm doing that first, and that 5 million people are now doing it. Like, good luck. And also, you fired half the staff. So who the fuck is who's gonna stop me?
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take to stop me before I can do damage? It's all a bit silly.
All because he made a joke that he was going to buy Twitter.
So anyway, I'll link to some stuff in the show notes if you want to see all the stuff he's been up to. But I think most people know, and I've gotten sick of it, to be honest.
I did like the Mario one where Mario was
given the bird, and someone said Mario would never do that, and then the account tweeted back, "Well, he did." So funny, and it's just Nintendo with an L instead of an I. That's how they got the tick because they paid for it
with a tick, so it looks totally legit.
So silly.
Man, I agree with you. I don't want to hear about it. I can't look at Elon Musk's face anymore. I can't even look at a Tesla anymore.
Honestly, he's doing such damage to his reputation.
One thing I've just read, I did see this article in there, but so he wants all his staff to go back into the office. What does he have against people working remotely when he has to work remotely?
Yeah.
It's not like he's going into the office of Tesla and Twitter every day because it's not possible.
Yeah. Well, he did say this is the other problem too, is that like I saw a thing this is a letter that he wrote, and he said if you can't get in the office, that's fine. I saw another thing that said if you don't turn up in the office, resignation accepted. It's like, well, what's true? I don't know anymore because I can't tell which account is fucking verified on Twitter.
But I know this isn't the first time, because I know at Tesla he said at the article of everyone get back in the office.
Yeah.
So this would follow along with that. But what's he got against it?
I mean, apparently there was a culture issue at Twitter, which might be true. Maybe everybody was just lazy. And so he's like, no, fuck you. It's possible. I don't know. I don't really know, I guess. That's the problem, is we don't know anything. It's just...
All we can react to is his knee-jerk reactions to everything.
Honestly, it's just embarrassing at this point that they're just announcing stuff and then 2 hours later unannouncing it. And yeah. And then someone said he's going to realize in a couple of weeks that actually people can do chargebacks on their credit cards for the $8 if he bans their account within 90 days. And so Twitter's just going to be even more financial trouble.
Yep.
So anyway.
Because I go in, I spend the $8, I do whatever I want, cause that havoc for a week, I get banned, I charge it back.
And just say, look, I paid for a thing and then they've banned me. Credit card company's going to refund you. And then he's going to have to pay the $8 back plus a fee.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
He's jumped in too quickly. He needs to understand that a lot of the things that he's doing, they would have discussions about.
Yeah. Oh, but he fired all the people that had the discussions.
Yes.
Yeah, that could have told him.
Isn't he hiring some of them back?
That around and...
Yeah. Oh, the other one is apparently too, one of the head legal people at Twitter has apparently resigned, but not before putting in Slack that, guys, the stuff he's asking you to do is probably a legal concern for you. Right, because when this all goes to shit, he's just going to start pointing fingers. He says, "So I'm resigning. You guys just have a good think about whether you want to do this shit." So, speaking of jumping in, should we jump into the after party? And listeners, if you don't know what the after party is, head to patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm to find out.
Yes, and give us money. We won't ban you though.
No, it's not $8 either. It's $10. Should we change it to $8 in solidarity with Elon? Maybe you could be verified on this podcast.
A verified listener.
Is it $10 US or $10 Australian?
Oh, that's I don't know. We never talked about this, but they said they're going to start charging people tax in their region too. So I don't know if Australian listeners, I don't know if you get charged tax. I'm sorry if you do. I don't know how that works.
I can't imagine.
GST? Do you get
no,
GST
you
included?
can't charge GST on top of an advertised price, I believe.
Yeah.
Luke, you know
no,
more
but
about
it's different for international stuff.
Yeah, for international stuff, but for Aussie stuff.
Yeah, but Patreon's probably international.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I do have it set up for US dollars.
We're a true blue Aussie podcast.
That's true. Yeah, I know, but I live here, and my money's here, and that's where I want it.
Yeah. And Luke and I don't have any money, as we've already discussed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're not getting any. All right, fuck off.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.